Hello, everybody. This is Denise Barrett with The Real Deal. I am so excited to have the chance to talk to you today. We are following up on a conversation that we had last time when we were talking about representation agreements. And we talked about the buyer representation agreement last week. Today we're going to talk about the seller representation agreement. Before we get into it, though, let me answer this question. Do you have to have a realtor sell your house in Texas? Do you have to have them list it for you? The answer is no. You don't have to have a realtor. But if you don't, you have to be up to date on a lot of topics, and we'll actually cover that in our next conversation. What is it like to do a for sale by owner, and is that something that you want to deal with? But for today, we are under the assumption that yes, you want to use a realtor to sell your property. And that means you're going to have a representation agreement, which is a contract between you and the realtor, which stipulates what's going to happen with the sale of your house. It says who's going to do what and how are they going to get paid. So a lot of this is very similar to previous versions of the agreement. But there are a couple of new additions as a result of instances that have happened this last year. So we'll go over those and talk about what they may mean to your listing. So the first page basically remains the same. It's talking about the property, and the realtor will put in the legal description of the property that typically comes from the tax records. It's going to identify who the sellers are, and the sellers need to be the owners of the property. You wouldn't think I'd have to say that. And then who the broker is going to be. For example, my brokerage at this time is Keller Williams, and so they will be noted on the contract, and I will be noted as the agent or the realtor under the broker umbrella. You're going to make a note of the listing price, and that is the price you intend to sell it. I will say this. Your realtor is going to have some very specific advice on what to do with the pricing for your property. If you feel like you want to charge a whole lot more than what the realtor wants to charge, then they may say, all right, well, let's try it your way for 2 weeks. If we get no nibbles, we're going to do it my way. And that'll be in the special provisions. So there's a way to deal with a number of issues that both the seller and the realtor may want to get locked down. That makes sure that there's no miscommunication or misunderstanding of what the intention was supposed to be. So it's a lot of paper, but it's a good thing. We'll talk about the term of the agreement. So how long is the realtor going to represent you for the sale of this property? Generally speaking, I put 6 months because it accounts for all the showing time and then a time it's going to take to actually get to the closing table, which is typically 30 days after the contract is executed. Now, where the change comes is under broker compensation. In the old version of the listing agreement, it wasn't broken out as much as it is now. So we've got a couple of choices. The seller has a couple of choices. You can either pay a broker's fee that will be shared between your broker and the buyer's broker, or you can pay your broker only. And that leaves the buyer up to deal with his agent however they choose to do it. You've got a choice, but my recommendation is that we do everything that we can to encourage attention to come to your property. The whole point is to get it sold, right? So in my view, I will advise my sellers to consider compensating the buyer's broker. But keeping in mind, this is not an additional fee that the seller pays. It just says, okay, I understand that you're going to list my property for 6%. You can share that 6% with the buyer's broker. I don't care, but I'm paying 6%. So I hope that puts that in a nutshell for you. Something else I want you to pay attention to with regard to thinking about selling your house. what's attached to it, what's screwed into the walls that would not fall out of the house if you turned it over and shook it. For example, your TV mounts, curtain rods, your chandelier, any custom additions to the house. Did you put in a custom iron door in your wine room? Things like that. If you intend to take those things with you, if you intend to take your custom drapes from your bedroom because they match your comforter and all that's going with you because you had calico corners make you a custom piece, then my recommendation is to just get it out of the house before showing. Let's put it in something neutral that's not custom, which may help sell the house better anyway, but it means that no one falls in love with your stuff and creates an issue. I will say this about curtains. If they're not custom, right, but you love them and you intend to take them, put it in the exclusion portion of the listing agreement. Those are not intended to convey. What about your washer and dryer? Those aren't screwed in. Are they staying? Are they going? What about your refrigerator? Does it stay or does it go? And then there's other items that the buyer may see on the premises. Say you've staged it in a beautiful manner, but you want to make clear that those personal effects do not stay with the property. Then we make a note of that. Again, this is just to make it very clear what's involved, because you're not going to be around every time your realtor is asked a question. And like most realtors, I want to know the answers before I get asked. I hope that these details have made the prospect of selling your house a little easier. I know that you've heard a lot about listing agreements in the news lately and changes between seller brokers, sellers, buyers, buyers brokers. But the only difference in the two agreements that you need to be made aware of is your express permission for your realtor, your broker, to share the commission with another party. Again, we're going to talk about what to do if you're not going to use a realtor. If you want to go it the FSBO route, which is for sale by owner. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Go ahead and like and subscribe. If you think of a topic that you'd like us to cover, go ahead and put it in the comments section and we will get it added to our agenda. I hope you have a great rest of your day and I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.